Gentlemen, welcome to our Year 13 annual graduation program. Thank you. I'd like to ask you all to be upstanding for the graduates as they enter the room. We are going to be led by the head leader, Mr. Maurice Otieno. Mr. Maurice Otieno, the company, please. You may all be seated now. We had another form group coming in. Okay, I think that's all the graduates for today. Thank you all. Okay. Mr. Oni, would you like to get us started with a small, short number with Noni Gadoni, who is also a leaver? Before we begin the program formally. Thank you very much, Noni. That item was not on the program, but Noni was very eager to show us a bit of what she will put on display next year as she joins the sixth form. As I said, this is a bittersweet occasion for us. Bitter because we're saying goodbye to special people in our lives, and sweet because we think that they are now ready to go out into the world and to begin their journey. We hope we've encouraged, inspired, and empowered each one of them. We will now move on to the next item on the program, and that is a student performance by Stella Ising. She will be performing a piano piece entitled All of Me by John Schmidt. Stella Ising.
I just want to put that there.
Okay, so I made a huge mistake and I hope I shall be forgiven. Emo, please don't shoot me tomorrow. We were actually meant to stand up for the national anthem. I think I had the jitters. It's not easy to be on this stage. When students are here, it's very easy for us to direct them and tell them what to do, but it's actually rather scary. So I'm going to ask all of you to be upstanding, and please forgive me for forgetting. We're going to be upstanding for the national anthem, which will be performed again by Noni Gadhoni Kibuchi from year 11. Thank you, Noni. We pray that God is listening. There's a lot that's going on in our country that needs our prayers, but it encourages me when I look out into the audience and see so many young, passionate people who I'm sure are going to go out there and change our country as well as the world. I'm now going to invite, without further ado, our head teacher to open the ceremony formally with his speech. Mr. John Eveson. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to remove my mask, so forgive me for that, but it allows me to speak a little bit more clearly. So, parents, teachers, tutors, Mr. Morris Otieno, the marketing team, the admin team at the back there, but most of all, the students of 2021. I want to congratulate you all for making it through to the end of what has been an extremely difficult year for you all. I said this yesterday, and I think it's worthwhile saying it once again. The challenges that you've had to face this year have been enormous. The pressures that you've been under have been significant. I said yesterday when I was speaking to the year 11s that what we've asked you to do is essentially unprecedented, because what we've asked you to do is to prepare for exams, and you never knew until more or less the last minute that those exams were actually going to take place. In fact, some of them didn't take place. So for some of you, you've taken external exams, some of you have had teacher assessments, and some of you have had both teacher assessments and external exams, and that all in the middle of a pandemic. So my hearty congratulations go to all of you for making it through to the end of this year. I'm going to share a secret with you. And some of you may know this, but sort of some of you may not. But you guys are a special group. I'm sure your parents will agree. And to be honest with you, every year is a special group. But this one is special to me in a significant way. And the reason why you are especially significant is because when you arrived in 2016, I arrived in 2016. So what has happened over the last 5 years is I've seen so many of you grow up. Your angelic faces from 5 years ago. You know, when I look at some of you, I get little flashbacks of sort of what you were looking like in 2016, because I can still vividly remember that, and I'm not going to embarrass any of you here by pointing at anyone and say, oh, I remember her, or I remember him, but I do remember what you look like. So I feel like sort of one of my old uncles that says things like, gosh, hasn't he grown? Hasn't he changed? And I am looking at you all and I'm thinking, yeah, you've grown and you've changed, and you've changed for the better. Your angelic faces might be slightly different, but the people behind it are still there. It's been a privilege to see you grow up in every way that you can think of, whether it's in a sporting sense or an academic sense, a social sense, a cultural sense. In every way you have grown up. And it's really what Hillcrest is all about. It's all about you achieving personal excellence. And we'll find out just how good that is on August the 12th when the results come out. But to be honest with you, personal excellence is far more than a bit of paper that says you've got an A or whatever grade it happens to be. It's about the type of person that you are. And Hillcrest does stand for something significant. And as you go, and you are going to go all over the world, I know, I hope that you're going to take some of Hillcrest's values with you and that you put them within your lives to make a difference, because that's what our vision is for you to achieve personal excellence and then go out to be a significant member of our global community. Ms. Kimatai's already said that it's a bittersweet moment, and I don't know whether she's seen my notes, which is difficult because I don't have any, but it is a bittersweet moment for us all. It's bitter in the sense that we're going to see you go, and you will be missed when we're here in September and you're not. But it's sweet as well, because this is what this school is all about. It's all about sending people out to achieve the very best that they can in their lives and to make a global difference. So this evening is all about you. It really is all about you, celebrating what you've achieved, because you have achieved a lot. And if you reflect back on what you've done while you've been here in Hillcrest, for some Hillcrest Secondary School, for some of you it's been 5 years, whether it's on the sporting field or whether it's in the debates, whether it's been as a prefect, whether it's been as a house captain, all of you have contributed so much and have made a big difference. So I want to say thank you. I want to tell each and every one of you that I'm proud of you. And I want to tell each and every one of you that you will always be welcome back here. In fact, it's almost compulsory that when you come back to Kenya, that you do come and visit us to let us know just what a success you're making of your lives. So enjoy the evening. As I said, it is about you. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eveson, for those wise words. We're now going to move on to a speech by a student. And this particular student, I must say, embodies our values. And all the other students today, actually, not just one student. But I'm sure this particular one will have a lot to say about the kind of care that she received at Hillcrest, and especially the pastoral care. A huge thanks to our Deputy Pastoral, Miss Alga, and her pastoral team. This particular child embodies respect, determination, curiosity, independence, the values that we so cherish. I'd like to ask Ethel Mading to come up and to say her speech. Ethel?
Good evening, parents, teachers, students, and all members of Hillcrest community. My name is Ethel Mading. I am privileged to stand before you today and speak on behalf of Hillcrest class of 2021. I wrote this speech more than 5 times. I wanted it to be perfect, and to bring light to what perfect students we are. We, the class of 2021. We are indeed perfect in our own way. Hillcrest has taught us the significance of speaking our minds. I will try to call a spade, but I know someone will tell me later that it could be considered a big spoon. We, the class of 2021, are the most talented, open-minded individuals to walk in and out of Hillcrest. We did our assignments, the last minute and fake poor internet connection to get out of classes, yet we were on top of our game. We are the class who would not hesitate to say what we believe in. We are the class whose motivation to ace a test is a yacht somewhere in Dubai. Be assured that no matter where each one of us ends up, we will be the best at what we do. Hillcrest does not produce mediocres. Seated among us today are future scientists, entrepreneurs, politicians, lawyers, and criminals, maybe. No doubt the best at our respective fields. I remember when we walked to sixth form for the first time in neat black blazers. Our shirts were buttoned to the last button, and we could hardly breathe. I had told my friends Anchi and Yvonne to get extra short skirts, only to end up wearing trousers. It was too cold. We were seniors and we looked the part. We were excited for A-levels. For some of us, it was a time to spice up, the university applications. But for others, it was a chance at making lifetime friends. However, I spent the last 2 years of A-levels online, in scholars' meeting, trying to convince the smartest students in Hillcrest to see my stupid point of view. The math block, like all the rest of math students, reassuring myself that I'm not stupid. The art room, listening to blessings, tried to talk Yvonne and I out of the rich anti-lifestyle we had planned. In the washrooms, forcing my best friend to take videos of my awesome dance moves. The physics block with Stella, Emmanuel, Alvaro, Michaela, and Mr. Olumide, criticizing the food tech students for tempting us to hunger with the aroma of their food. And by the way, Mr. Kobe's class is 5 minutes extra. He just doesn't want to believe it. In Miss Troy's office, trying to upgrade my social skills. The other memories of Hillcrest that will stick with me are the ones I made at Toad Hall boarding house. I learned what a community was like in the boarding. How could I not when Ryan cannot stop talking about the love of his life, quantum physics? How could I not when Chelsea fans, including Mr. Sereneu, went into depression each time Chelsea lost a match? How could I not when every milestone, birthdays, university offers, and scholarships, and a potential date are celebrated by everyone as their own? I will miss a lot. The boarding football matches were often Tariq, Melvin, Jonah, and Emmanuel could not tell the difference between my shins and the ball. I will for sure miss M.O. shouting at some poor kid in the morning for not having the right uniform, or skiving classes. It's pure entertainment when it's not happening to you. I will miss the emails I have to send to Ms. Kuzi for the sole purpose of just complaining. I'm sure she'll miss them too. The inter-house debates, we all agree that Odin should have won this year.
Yeah.
The emails, oh, okay, sorry. I will miss running in the soggy fields in the mornings after Ashley or Laura assure me that they will join me in the morning, which they never did. There are certain things I will not miss. Exams, of course. Some faces. Yeah. And I am glad today is the last day I will put up with some people. And I know some people will be happy that they'll not put up with me today. But I will carry with me the beautiful memories and cherish the friends I've made. I will always remember Hillcrest as a home. A very wise person once told me that once you survive Hillcrest, you can survive anything. The world is not ready for the class of 2021, and we will sure conquer it. Thank you.
I do hope that the criminal activities that Athiel is referring to was and will be limited to wrong uniform, chewing gum, and not doing homework. Anything other than that, we shall have to call in some experts like Ivan Juguna, who is going on to study computer science in Canada, people like Ryan Napo, who are also going to study computing. Yes, there you go. There are many others. We're blessed with a wide array of students who are going to change this world. So those criminal activities will be limited. We've got students like Inderjit Gariel, who is already sidling his father out of the family business. He's already waking up to go to work every morning. And then we have Dev Shah, a stunning young man who, just today we are told he made the Kenya team of 6 that is going on for the International Mathematics Olympiad to Russia. So, ladies and gentlemen, Hillcrest is not about surviving. We put in a lot of effort, and the commitment of people like Emil, the head of year, is testament to the kind of young men and women that you are today. I would like to say a bit about Athiel. I think she's been very modest. Athiel, I hope, where's Athiel? You allow me to say what I'm about to say about your achievement? Athiel won a full scholarship to study in the United States of America. She's moving on to Lehigh University, and she's going to study aerospace mechanical engineering. And special mention will go to Miss Elena Troy for guiding her very closely on this process, because she's an alumni as well. So without further ado, I'm going to ask one of our parents to come up to speak, and the fact that he is speaking shows that we did do something right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Charles Businge, father of Colin Businge.
Let me also remove my mask. Since the protocol has been broken, I will also break it just for a while. The head teacher, the deputy head teachers, the head of sixth form, the parents who are here this evening, the entire school administration that have enabled to bring us here, the students who are here, who are graduating today. I take this opportunity to introduce myself. I've been introduced as Charles Businge, and a parent of this school. I want to start by congratulating all the students, as many others have said, that this is really a moment for us to be happy. Yesterday, I was recollecting on my experience when I joined the Hillcrest community as a parent in September 2019. Everything seemed to go well. But come March 2020, we realized that the COVID-19 was with us. Now, as we go everywhere, you have to put on masks, you have to sanitize, you have to social distance, and those have become buzzwords. The students have had to endure virtual classes and many others. I'm not sure, I believe many parents were sure of how their children would continue with school. I believe many of us in the room and those not here were anxious at that time because we were not sure how we'd continue with seeing our children leave their homes in a situation of uncertainty. As I reflect on the journey we have made together as a community, I feel a sense of achievement that despite the uncertainty, the entire school community remained resilient and adapted well to this new reality. We need to all pat ourselves on the back, because that is not a mean achievement. My appreciation to the leadership and management of the school for a job well done. My appreciation to the fellow parents for allowing your children to continue in school despite the potential risks and uncertainties. We have come a long way since 2019, and also I want to have my special appreciation to the students who remained in the trenches to see through your sixth form. As parents, and on behalf of parents, we are very proud of you. You kept the promise, you maintained the focus and the faith, and here we are to celebrate you as you end your journey at this school. As you move on, please remember that you have won the battle, but not the war yet. A few years from now, we'll need to see successful lawyers, successful engineers, teachers, artists, businessmen, and many others. Of course, I don't expect to see criminals. And I want to decree that, because you are here for a reason, and one of them is not about being criminals. The world is looking out to you, and you are the generation who is going to change the world. You need to believe in yourself. Despite the challenges you might face, please remember that people who have a desire and a reason don't give up, because the reason is much bigger than the challenge. See opportunity in every challenge in front of you, and don't be intimidated by challenge. I believe you have the resolve to face the world as you leave this school, because you have been given the opportunity, you have been given the values and the skills that you might need to build on. I believe you have made friends at Hillcrest. Please keep them. You are a global community now, and wherever you are, you should be able to bring or lead us into the next generation. Finally, Hillcrest has been part of your journey of life. Remember to profile it wherever you go, because it is what has made us, and we need to be proud of what has made us. You are its ambassadors, as we will be as parents, its ambassadors. Thank you so much. All the best.
That was Charles Businge, the father of Colin. Colin is proceeding on to Howard University in the USA. He will be reading economics, law, and law with politics. Thank you very much, Mr. Businge, for recognizing and acknowledging the fact that it wasn't easy for all of us in the education sector during the pandemic. And I must say, it's still not easy, but we somehow keep afloat. Many of you might not know this, but so many schools tried. And within the first 3 months, we had so many reports of schools being hacked, you know, the use of Zoom being very problematic with extremely unsavory pictures and videos going on. But as teamwork, we managed to stay afloat, and we have so many people to thank for this. We have the excellent ICT team that is led by Mr. Lactano that made sure every morning in the pandemic, Teams was up and running. We have the excellent admin staff that was very punctual in sending you your invoices. And we have the excellent heads of years, Miss Akilola, Miss Chana, and of course Emo, who made sure, even though he didn't know, Emo didn't know some of you year 12s because you were new, but he still woke up every morning, and whenever you were not in class, he would call you, call your parents. We know how much you hate us having your parents' numbers, but that's why we have them. So without further ado, I want to hand over to the first tutor group, and that is Miss Alga. Miss Alga and her tutor group. I will read the names of the tutees. You have Ian Adera, Janice Adwol, Ryan Anthony, Livy Blackton, Colin Businge, Sari Jore, Molloy Metz, Melissa Mwangi, who's not here today. There are some who are not here. Blessings Dungu, and Zahir Tosnia. Over to you. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kimitai. Let me just sort out hat, mask, hair. So I too have been with this cohort of students for 5 years, and they are a very, very special group of people. And before I address my wonderful tutees, I just want to say thank you to the cohort as a whole, because as much as I've been on my journey, you've been there the whole way through. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the faculty, the graduating class of 2021, and finally the tutees of 13 TAL, welcome to tonight's graduation. This evening's address, I will draw upon the wisdom of Nelson Mandela, who said, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It's the difference we have made in the lives of others that will determine the significance of the lives we lead." Over the past 5 years, 4 years, or 2 years for some of you, you have already started to have those impacts on the people around you, and I am one of them. You have helped me grow into my role as a teacher, my role as a deputy head, and even now as a mother. And I thank you. I thank you for questioning me and not just accepting what I have to say, for understanding that the nature of a deputy head means that some days I haven't committed to you as much as I should have, and for being your own unique personalities that have made me smile even on the toughest days that I've had. Being a tutor is something I've always really believed in. It's a privilege and should be at the cornerstone of any school that says they put students first. It's a privilege to see bright-eyed young Year 9s enter a school and grow into the mature women and men they have become. And without mentioning any names, because we have been told to keep it short, we have gone from sticking biros in plug sockets and nearly blowing up the physics lab, making PA videos that just include selfies and videos of me and my friends, losing Paul to their tutor in the boarding house, never making registration on time, panicking when there's no need to panic, smiling sweetly at me when you've missed deadlines, keeping me on my toes many days and telling me what roles I have to do as a tutor and what messages I need to give, and frantically running around trying to organise a debate team for Mrs. Guest when she took over my tutor group. Over the years, the members of TAL have achieved so much. We've had many come and go, and I think the heads of year found it funny to always give me the biggest tutor group. So here are some of the highlights of what we have achieved. We have climbed Kilimanjaro. We've been the executives of many of the different clubs and societies Hillcrest has to offer. We've become school prefects, been voted some of the best delegates at EAMUN and MSMUN, won far too many sports fixtures and tournaments for me to mention, been in the orchestra, school productions and other musical performances, been awarded with silver and bronze PA awards, helped organise mental health awareness days and dance competitions, and successfully navigated our way through a pandemic. You have achieved so much in your time here, and you should be extremely proud of yourselves. Although tonight is very much about a time for us to reflect, we must always keep looking forward. Therefore, please always remember as you move on that you have to master your fear, be humble, live your dreams, be fair and just, and take pride in your integrity. And lastly, in the words of Hillary Clinton, always aim high, work hard, and care deeply about what you believe in. Congratulations, and thank you once again for becoming beautiful young people that have enriched my lives. I'm very grateful.
Year 13 TAL will now move over to collect their farewell packs. And in no particular order, I will tell you what the future plans are, God willing. Please go ahead. Ian is taking a gap year, but he will proceed to Canada. Janice, please go ahead and take your gifts. It's okay, in no particular order. Janice will be studying international development with economics in the UK. Livy Blackton will proceed to the UK to study psychology and sociology. Sari will proceed to the UK to study politics, economics, and Blessings. Dungu will proceed to the US, Mount St. Mary's University, to study drama and theatre, acting. And then Tasnia will proceed on to study business management and criminology. I wish you all well, and God willing, you achieve your dreams. We'll now move on to Mr. Joseph Owor's form group. Mr. Joseph Owor's form group is as follows. You've got Alvaro Ochola, Laura Gitau, Anthony Mathenge, Chelsea Matu, Daniel Mutisia, Tiffany Nzimbi, and Michaela Odor. All of yours.
Thank you so much. I am impressed to see my graduates looking lovely and lively this evening for this ceremony. Thank you so much. I also would like to mention Emmanuel and Tariq, whom I have worked with recently as they volunteered to help in the games department. Congratulations. May I also take this opportunity to mention, because I had promised him this, Sari, who is the first student I knew in this year group when he was still in Hillcrest Prep. But he still played for my under-15 boys football team at Green State School as a goalkeeper. If you never knew that, this is an opportunity. So I had promised him that. Congratulations, Sari, Tariq, and Emmanuel. And now to my speech. Greetings to everyone. I am honored to be here and to have been a year 13 form tutor. This group represents Hillcrest's past 5 years, and they joined the school in year 9 with the head teacher. I thought I was the only one who knew that. They have been full of energy, which is typical of Hillcrest students. This came out clearly during their bonding trips in both year 9 and 10. One thing I want you graduates to know is that I was always looking forward to your general studies sessions, especially in year 12, where we discussed anything about everything. As a boys games teacher, I enjoyed coaching you guys, and I am also proud of what you achieved in sports by winning several competitions, including ISK football, Turi hockey, KSO leagues, which we won, by the way, on unbeaten runs. The famous provincials, this involves playing in harsh and tough conditions, okay? In which the girls went all the way to the nationals in 2019, and they also went for a tour of South Africa. As a form group, I will always remember the fun evening outing that we went to at the Two Rivers Mall. Okay, I was very much impressed with how creative you guys were. In my class, I was fortunate to have disciplined students, such as Michaela, although she's not here today. She joined us most recently, and was always jovial with a smiling face. She was intelligent, hardworking, and played football very well. I also had Ashley, another bright lady. I have to mention that her personal statement was a perfect one. I mean, what could I have changed in it? Perhaps only a dot. I will always use this as an example to other students in regards to personal statement. I also had Alvaro, a disciplined and humble gentleman who always focused on his work. I also had Daniel. Congratulations, Daniel, for being a friendly member of the class. Let this be your last graduation. May the Almighty guide you in your future courses and careers. May He simplify your challenges and represent them in decimal points before cross-multiplying your progress so that your success may be represented in a bar graph. May you be the one to inspire change in the society by being a leader, not a deceiver. Thank you so much.
Amen to all that. We say Amen. The Christians say Amen. Very powerful prayer there. And we do hope that you find your cause and lend it your voice. So in no particular order, I will try and summarize what the future plans are, God willing. Achola Alvaro will move on to study urban planning in Australia. Then we have Laura Waithera, who wants to study aviation in the UK. Then we have Anthony Mathenge, who is undecided, but I suspect physics and computing. We have Maria Chelsea, who wants to study international hospitality management. Then we have Daniel Mutisia, who will proceed to the UK and wants to read computer science with business. We have Tiffany Nzimbi, who wants to read business management law in Mauritius. Then we have Michaela Odur, who wants to study mechanical engineering in the UK. I hope I've not left out anybody else in that group. So once again, may God grant you your heart's desires, and may you, like Mr. Awar says, change the world. Don't be deceivers. Please be leaders. Don't be criminals. Or please just be very petty ones, you know. Please, we need change in our country and in the world. Without further ado, I will ask the next student. This is a student who's so passionate about drama and performance, and this is a testament to the kind of students we produce under the very able and excellent visionary guidance of our head teacher, Mr. John Eveson. I'd like to ask Ms. Blessings Ndungu to come up and perform Listen by Beyonce. Blessings.
If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll be with you every step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you.
bittersweet memories is all I'll be taking with me. So I'll go, please don't cry. I'll be with you through every step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you. I hope life treats you kind, and I hope you get what you dreamed of. And I wish to you joy and happiness, but above all, I wish you love. And I will always love you. I will always love you. I will always love you. I will love you. I will love you through the step of the way. Oh, darling, I will always love you. Darling, I love you. I'll always love you.
Beautiful blessings. Thank you so much. May your dreams come true, because I know how badly you want to be on Broadway. Keep at it. I know you'll be there. The next parent is, again, testament to her faith and belief in Hillcrest. I don't know if it's that or it's just a cheap school, miss. I don't know. But I think we're doing something correct. I'm sure she's been here for numerous parent-teacher consultations, not all of them good maybe, I don't know. I, for one, taught one of her children, a delightful, pleasant, respectful young man. The 4 children that she's had here are Luke, Alice, Emily, and William, all amazing young people. Lucy Mayer herself has been a parent, is a parent, sorry, and has been a teacher here as well. So she knows the inside and outside dynamics of Hillcrest. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Lucy Mayer.
Good afternoon, Hillcrest community. I do understand Miss Kumatai standing up here. I used to stand in front of a hall of tiny people next door at the prep school, and that was fine, but now this is a hall full of adults. I haven't done it for a long time, so it's not quite so fine, so my heart's beating quite a lot. But anyway, I'm up here because along with my husband, Jonathan, we are probably the longest standing parents in the room at the moment. Which also probably makes us the oldest, which is slightly more alarming. I'm very pleased to have been given this opportunity to speak because it's a celebration, as everybody has said, of an end a very important time in your lives and in the development of our children. And I think it's really a good opportunity for us to be able to recognize the influence that Hillcrest has had in that very important time. What's a shame is that we're all having to be here in socially distant circumstances after a very strange 15 months of online teaching. And despite the best efforts of the school, and they really did make a fantastic effort in this, it has reduced everybody's feeling of connect with the school. We don't come to school anymore. We don't meet people in the car park. It's very odd, and you kind of drive in and go away. So I was really happy to be able to have this opportunity to reflect on the school and bring back what it was that made us choose the school and what's made us stick with it through 4 children, 16 years in a capacity as a parent, and actually 30 years since I was first a teacher here, then a teacher again here, and later a governor, and actually through 4 different ownerships of the school. There is a pull about Hillcrest. I've heard many parents refer to the Hillcrest spirit or a certain event, oh, that's a Hillcrest moment. It's very, very difficult to define, and we wish we could bottle it and sell it and market the school in that way. But it is inherent in the staff, in their relationship with the students, and in the way the parents interact with the school, and of course within the students themselves. It's what brought us all here in the first place and what keeps us here. And I think it's all about accepting students as they are. It's nurturing their individuality, and lots of schools say this, but I mean here at Hillcrest, they really do nurture the individual. I know from experience that staff here believe absolutely in the potential of every student and work hard to ensure that they can fulfill or exceed that. They identify the strengths of each student and build on them so those that feel weaker in certain areas can shine in others. And it's this ethos of belief and encouragement that flows into the student body as well. And I feel that the students of Hillcrest thrive on the diversity of the group. And they're open and accepting of all kinds of people and are a cohesive and supportive community with a strong sense of social responsibility. When I asked my own kids what it was that they loved about Hillcrest, they immediately said diversity. Diversity in terms of the community, diversity of activities and opportunities, diversity in the teaching staff, different interests, different people, different genders. You didn't have to be brilliant when you wanted to try an activity. You could always just give it a try. What a great place to grow up in, and I wish I'd had that kind of a school. I think you can always spot a past Hillcrest student. They have an ease and openness about them, confidence but not arrogance, and a strong sense of place and responsibility in the world. And the world that this cohort will go out into is a very different place than it was when they entered year 9. Inequalities have been brought to the forefront. Ms. Kumatai is talking about change. We need change. We need change within the country. We need change globally. And it's changing. We've got Me Too, Black Lives Matter. And COVID particularly has highlighted the need for more equal global society in essentials like justice, education, access to healthcare, access to technology. Climate change, resources and scarcity, and food security are in the news every day. It seems like a complicated path to embark on, but it also presents huge opportunities. And those of you, all of you who are going on to the next stage of your life, I really hope that whilst you will make brilliant lawyers, engineers, farmers, I will mention farmers, because they're very important, teachers, anything, tourism, whatever you want to do, that you always have one eye on whether what you're doing is socially responsible, environmentally responsible. And I think you will, because I think that's what you've got out of this school. It's an environment that you've grown up in and are used to. So as parents, we can rest assured that their time at Hillcrest has prepared our students thoroughly for the next step, and that they are leaving this school having achieved the school's vision, personal excellence as a valuable member of our global community. So it just remains for me to thank the staff of this school, past and present, for the fantastic opportunity, education and pastoral care that my kids and countless others have been offered and benefited from. To the students, congratulations on reaching this point through challenging times. You've got a big change ahead, but you'll still have the security that you're part of a strong and supportive community, as can the parents who are also leaving Hillcrest today. Good luck for the next stage, students, and keep the Hillcrest spirit burning.
Thank you so much, Lucy, for those kind words. I hope you have another 2 or 3 more mayors coming to join us, because it's a delightful family. And I'm really happy that you mentioned the teachers and the staff. I can't believe I've gone halfway without commending the teachers in this institution. As deputy head teacher in charge of teaching and learning, I cannot tell you the number of times that during the pandemic, we got, even now, we got emails from frustrated teachers who were begging for strategies to get you people up to attend classes, calling your parents. And I remember, and Ian will excuse me for saying this, but Ian, I have to say it. Where's Ian? I remember one particularly interesting email that Ian Adera, I'm talking about Ian Adera, don't pretend you don't know. Ian wrote us a particularly frustrated email. In no uncertain terms, Ian said, please get off my back, just get off my back, MO, Mr. Greenwell, God knows who, just please, But no, we are not going to get off your back. We were not going to get off your back. It might have seemed that we were stressing you, but the only thing, like Mrs. Mayer said, is that we saw in you a lot more than you probably did at that time. And that's why we stressed to get you to attend class, to get you to do your homework, etc., etc. So thank you very much, Ms. Mayer. I will now move on to invite Ms. Terry Raishena and her form, Ms. Terry. And your tutees are Christine Kishuhi, William Mayer, Melvin Moses. Oh my God, is she alone? Are you alone, miss? All right. Sarah Nandwani, who's I know in Uganda, Ivan Juguna, Mona Njuguna, Jessica Okello, and Tariq Ismail Sadiq. Over to you, miss.
Okay, I wrote good afternoon, but I guess it's good evening at this point, yeah? So I'll just say good evening, yeah, everyone. So I recently had a new word, and it was bamboozled. And I thought, surely, what is that? So what I did is that I have learned that Google is my friend. So I Googled the term. And I found that it means to confuse, frustrate, or throw off thoroughly or completely. So if you allow me, I will say that COVID really bamboozled us these last 2 years. However, in spite of this, I would like to recognize my tutor group for the fact that they kept going. I know it was not easy, and in the quietness of their hearts, sometimes they wondered about the future of their education. I also recognize the everyday struggles that they went through. So sometimes they battled with whether to attend a tutor meeting or to stay in their own beds. Sometimes they struggled with their personal statements when I asked for a first draft, a second, a third. I think we even went to 4. And I'm sure they were thinking, what in the world does Ms. Raishena want? And then I think they also struggled with attending online lessons, which was not really easy because you had there was a series there that you could watch or a PlayStation to play. So without a doubt, I acknowledge that the struggle was real. But I truly, truly commend you as a tutor group behind me, but I speak to you, for the fact that you kept going and looked for small, different ways, not just to survive, but to thrive. So with all that, I will say well done. Now, in many African communities, maybe not African, let me speak Kenya. When it's time to celebrate, the women usually say, "Aririri." So this is the time we are my tutor group, and I will do that by just recognizing some of the achievements that they have made. So in terms of leadership, we had leaders amongst this group behind me. We had leaders in the publication team. We had the president and the vice president. We had leadership in hockey. We had leadership in terms of student council and audience representative. We had leadership and creativity combined, where we had amongst us the dance coordinator who would lead the younger students in the dance club. We had leadership in LEAP. We had prefects. And most recently, we had a student who, after completing his BTech work, stayed and helped out in the sports department. So the person that Mr. Otieno was talking about is in this tutor group, yeah? In academics, we had situations where people excelled sometimes, and sometimes it was a bit of a struggle. But the idea behind this is not to point out anyone, but I just want to recognize everyone in this tutor group. And why I do so is because this year was hazy. There were situations whereby we never knew whether we'd get exams or not, and the whole idea of predicted grades came up. So we had never heard of predicted grades before in terms of our grades, so this was new. So what I would want to do is just recognize everyone in the tutor group just for the fact that they were able to stay on course. In terms of sports, there was love for sports in this group, and it was just not a love for sports, but the skill was there as well. There was a fierce competition, and I could hear some of them behind my classroom in the football pitch. And there was also a love for basketball as well, and you'd see some of them playing in the court next to the gate. But they didn't just love it and play it, but they excelled in it, so well done. I also want to recognize students who came from Uganda, from Tanzania, and a number of students in my tutor group had come from other schools. It's not very easy to join a new community, and I just want to tell them well done because they did well. Yeah, you did well. Finally, I would also want to recognize one of the students who I think has been in Hillcrest for the longest time, and I think you can connect the dots, but he was also in this tutor group, and I just want to say thank you for believing in us as a school for all these years. So finally, I want to leave you with the words of Tupac Shakur. But before I do so, let me just give a little background information. I personally have always been an R&B, soul kind of gospel person. I grew up in the time when we'd listen to music using cassettes. Now, what you do with the cassettes or mixtapes, you'd record music from the radio, and you'd have to listen to the radio probably the whole day just to time when your song will come up. So we actually used to make a joke and say, if a guy made for you a mixed tape, he was a keeper, yeah? Therefore, hip hop for me and rap really was not my kind of music. So how did I land on Tupac? Some very wise students in year 13 who are seated here told me that I should listen to the lyrics and get to know the background behind the music. So that's what I did. So for Tupac, I learned that his music was an expression of his struggles, his pain, his love for his mother, and just the struggles that he had living in as an African American in the US. So his music told his story. So although I do not fully agree with his messages, there's one that stood out for me, and that's what I would like to leave with my tutor group behind me. And it is, I want to grow, I want to be better, you grow, we all grow, we're made to grow. So therefore, to my tutor group, I encourage you to keep growing. Even when it's not easy, and at every stage, look for sincere people who will grow with you and walk the journey with you. So to my tutor group, I wish you all God's blessings as you move to the next season of your life. God bless.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Raishena. I do remember the cassette days, and a biro was very handy. If you know, you know. Sorry. So in no particular order, Ms. Raishena's class, I can see so many of us know, and that tells your age. Parents, be careful which jokes you laugh at. Huh? Okay, so in no particular order, Christine Ann Mudhoni is going forth to study food and nutrition in Switzerland. I will have to go slowly down this list. William Mayer is proceeding to the UK to study agriculture. Tariq Ismail is undecided, but we'll get there. And there is absolutely no problem, probably a gap year. Sarah Nandwani will move to Spain to study politics and economics. Ivan Jaguna will move to Canada to study computer science or computing. Please forgive me, to me it's the same thing, but I know it's so different. Monan Jaguna will take a gap year. Jessica Okello is also taking a gap year, but I know her dream is to move on to Cambridge to read law. And I hope I have captured everyone, all right? So, and next on our list is Mr. Josephat Otondi with his duties. Mr. Otondi's form comprises Dominique Stevens Ebwanga, Inderjeet Garyal, Ethiel Mading, Yusuf Ote Muhammad, Emmanuel Nogu, Jasmine Otieno, Milan Ponyong, and Yan Yuyang. Karibu sana, Mr. Otondi.
Good evening. We are privileged to be here as 13 CHAIOT, and this is a great day. Congratulations. Today is a great day. When I was writing this speech, it actually reminded me some years back when I was doing the same thing you are doing today, graduating from high school. Now, in those days, what you used to do, we could get a piece of chalk, climb up to the ceiling, and see some piece of wood, and then try to scribe your name there. Say, remember Josephat Otondi. But I know this day you are not doing it. And I'm convinced you will not do it because what you have done in this place, in the sports arena, in debate, in leadership, has spoken out loudly. And the young one in year 9, I think that is for you. The loudness we are talking about. The year 9s and those even in the prep school will be coming here will know that so and so was here because you've left a mark. Congratulations for that. I know many of us, as we graduate today, you've been in school for about 13 years, long years, and you are looking forward to this day. But not all of us have the same view on this day as you graduate. I know some of you will look at this as a stepping stone for your further studies. You will join colleges. Some of you are going to start business, which is very good. And many of you are still getting a gap here to look for what they want to do. And we should not count ourselves different. I want you to continue with what you choose to be the good thing for yourself. As I stand here with my fellow colleagues and parents, occasions like this, we get tempted to say how much we have taught you, how much we have participated in your success. But this evening, I want to choose to take a different dimension. Personally, being with you as a form tutor, I have learned a lot from you as individuals and as a group. Sometimes I remember during this online, I think the online and the pandemic has stood very prominently. Sometimes we get some news briefs from the leadership that will say, for example, tomorrow we are going to be online, or tomorrow we start a physical school. And when I bring this news to the form group, I would be asked questions, why this, why that? But at the end of the discussion, we get into an agreement that these things we are doing it because we are limited, we don't know what comes next. And you've been very flexible in that. I congratulate you for that. You've also taught me how to be flexible, adaptable, and resilient. When I look at you, it reminds me of our 3 children. The firstborn is 8 years. You can see how ambitious I am. When I look at the boys and girls here, now the young men, I also look at myself and say, very soon, I am also going to join the club of parents who have such powerful young men and women who are not going to change the world, but they have started from here. And that's what I want you to continue doing. Many a time, as we go out there, we'll face so many challenges, but we have done it from here. And I want you to leave with you this, nugget. Sometimes when we fail, or do not achieve, or accomplish our set targets or goals, we may have these kinds of family members and friends. One group are those who will tap your shoulders and say, do not worry. They will remind you how well you have done in the past. They will nudge your egos and place the accolades that you have acquired from the past success. And they say, forget this one. Move on. But there are some also, family members and friends, who will fall in this category. They will have a contrary view of your failure. They will critique you, not just critique, but severe criticism. They will remind you to forget about your past success because it's already past. Most of the time, many of us, including myself and all seated here, will be tempted to keep some and leave some. But my encouragement this evening is that keep both. Most importantly, keep your critics much closer. Because it is from this criticism that you will be able to go back to where you have not done well and think about and say, I want to prove to you that what you are seeing is not what I can do. Very interesting, sometimes when we count ourselves as failures, it actually needs us to change the topic, and then the body remains the same and you succeed. And that is the encouragement I want to give you this evening. There has been a number of challenges here we have overcome together as a team. When I was listening to Ethier giving a speech, I changed my speech when I was seated there. So, Ethiel, I think you've stood very prominently, and I love your mind. Continue doing that way. Because when you speak out, people get to know who you are. And I know all that you want, parents and teachers, to present to you these 8 students in 13 JOT. We have Yu Yang, very interested in computer science. We have Emmanuel, going to study biology. We have Milan, taking a gap here. We have Jasmine, interested in international relations. We have Ethiel, going to study mechanical engineering and aerospace. We have Indigit, accounting and finance. We have Dominic, who's going to study business. I've learned a lot from you. Wherever you are, we have our group on WhatsApp. Please do not leave. We will also have our own ceremony before we disperse. Thank you very much.
Okay, your form tutor has done a brilliant job of introducing you, so I will not bore the audience by reading out where you're going. Thank you very much, Mr. Otondi. Can we gate crash the private party? No, I guess. All right. As year 13 JOT leave the stage, I'm going to ask the next student to come up and say his speech. This is Collins Businge. Collins?
This is probably the last time I will stand in front of you and make a speech, so I hope I don't mess it up. Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know if you're gonna graduate. If that confused you, now you know how I felt walking out of Emo's Money and Money Supply class. Good evening, Hillcrest. Each and every one of you here today, both those physically here with us and those that have been forced by circumstance to take on an alternative viewing experience, have played a role in the illustrious journey that has culminated into this event, right from the parents and guardians, to the teaching faculty, to Hillcrest staff, and most importantly, the people who persevered through those dreary online classes, numerous assignments, and countless sleepless nights, contemplating alternative routes to success. Fueled, of course, by nightmarish grades, good afternoon to us, the class of 2021. When life shuts the door, open it right back up. That's how doors work, right? That's our Hillcrest experience has been far from normal. At no point did we think that we would spend the better part of our senior years glued to a screen from 7:50 to 3:30. If asked what my biggest memory of Hillcrest is, it would probably be black screens and muted mics. As you would expect, online school was not my ideal high school experience, a view I believe is shared by each and everyone seated here today, yes, including the parents. We know having us stuck in the house for close to 6 months was not part of your New Year's resolutions. All said and done, here we are, the class of 2021. The last 2 years have been by no means easy. Anyone who tells you otherwise is probably telling the infamous white lie. There were certainly times when the pressure got the best of us, more times than we admit, if we're being totally honest. But it was the friendships and solidarity we built among us that enabled us to ride out those waves. While the group mentality may certainly be extremely risky, some days it came down to the assurance that nobody had completed their assignment to avoid a total meltdown. And so, to those who are crisis managers like I was, Jessica, Nina, and Janice, we made it. All of us here have had a part to play in each other's success, be it late night calls to explain labor economics to Inda, or daytime calls from Mona between online classes to confirm whether a teacher has indeed started the call. We have all had a hand in each other's journey to the end. A few weeks back, I filled a survey, and one of the questions was, what was your favorite place in Hillcrest? Now, obviously, this is debatable. But seeing as it's my parade today, it's only fair that I say my favorite place, right? The lunch table behind the A-level block. Contrary to what you may be thinking right now, my favorite place was not determined by food. Well, not entirely. Those who sat on the lunch table behind the A-level block know the magnitude of the arguments we had on that table. In fact, I would argue that some political aspirations were discovered on that table. From Sari's apparent gospel truth, rejected by Maliki and Matthew as far-fetched. Controversial tweets dissected by the expert team consisting of Daniel and Tiffany. And world issues solved in the time it took us to wolf down fried potatoes and chicken, on the days Janice did not point out how the food lacked sodium chloride, of course. The silent debaters, Tasnia, Ivan, Yusuf, Anthony, and Abdi, had the textbook nod to approve a point and the sly smile to alert the speaker that Cap was in the air. The undefeated loudest person on the table, on days when history had not made me question my intelligence, would have to be yours truly, as there's no argument I would not enter, winning capability aside. Arguably, my favorite hour of the day, games, was probably the third biggest gathering of A-level students, topped only by the inconveniently timed fire drill and the long-forgotten common room. The sports field is where non-academic talent and leadership was nurtured by a special team led by Oti, as he has come to be known, Serene, for those of us inspired by Kipchoge, and more passionately, Andrew. Whereas Dev and Ryan dominated the tennis court, Jono dominated the pool, Ryan, Will, Janice, and the triumvirate of Nina, Doris, and Chelsea dominated the hockey field, while Adara and Tasnia commanded the football field. Hillcrest had no shortage of talent, evident from team trophies as well as individual feats, such as Olivia's standing 100-meter time. She was quick. As Ms. Mayer has already stated, if Hillcrest has taught me one thing, it has got to be diversity. Right from Tiffany and Melissa's dance club to Tara's modeling, and indeed the numerous talented musicians, including Tariq, Stella on the piano, and recently discovered Hillcrest's very own DJ, Callum. No two Hillcrest people are the same. Each student seated here today is a one-of-one model, almost like one of those Italian sports cars that Enda can not shut up about. To all the teachers we have had the honor of working with, as much as we might have been muted and cameras turned off for reasons we shall not divulge into, for the better part of online school, thank you for molding us into the individuals we are leaving Hillcrest as. And finally, if the movies have taught me anything, the real fun starts now. Class of 2021, it's been real. Well, mostly virtual. As we go out to chase our dreams, do not let your potential go to waste because you do not feel confident or ready enough. People with half your talent are making serious waves while you're still waiting to feel ready. Remember, you miss 100% of the shots you do not take. Colin, out.
Thank you very much, Collins. Collins, as you can hear, is a student of English. We're waiting for Best in Kenya, because that was a perfect speech. It had everything. Half Forest. Do you remember Half Forest? Good, yeah. Half Forest, everything. Well done, Colin. And no, this is not the last time that you are going to be standing here. We're not letting go of all of you that easily. You will come back and you will stand here, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you will address the younger ones. You will come back, believe you me, all right? We're not letting go that easily. And next is Jasmine Otieno with the spoken word entitled Let Go. Jasmine?
Kind of nervous. Sorry. I'm the blackish poet. Hear me, but listen with your spirit. I woke up with poetry on my lips and realized that the reason I struggled so much to compose was because I forced the hand. 'Twas desperation to be heard, but fear of being this close to disclose. After turning over several leaves and cramping and tossing loose leaf after loose leaf, I had this tree to my corner, watered by hate and fear, staring back at me, and we're both wondering if I'm even good at this. But then I woke up and tasted poetry on my lips. I knew I was about to dine with y'all, this bread of the soul. Step aside and look around you. Don't block creativity. Sorry. Don't block creativity. It's right there with you. It's within you. It is you. Let it flow like an extension of your physical, your most pure and honest self with no judgment. Listen, I've been trying to call home. Far from 2006, it's 2007, and life's been different for like 13 years. I hear a young blackish poet and she's saying life's a book, I need to flip it. But I swear I've read this page like 2 chapters ago. She's telling me to just let go, so I let go. And then I heard the words reverberating in the depths of my mind that I've been searching. Undulated my lips past and spoke life, naturally, singing the poetry of self. You hear it, don't you? I'm putting my pen on my shelf. I have no more poetry left on my lips. But stretch and tap into yourself. When the barrel's half empty, remember to also return and rest. Tomorrow's a new day. Touchdown safe. Breathe and come back to the world. Thank you.
And we anticipate Nobel Laureate Prize in Literature. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Those were deep, incisive words. The next parent is a parent, again, who's entrusted us with 3 of his loving children, and we will forever remember them. Avnish, Nankiran, and Inderjeet. The next parent is Mr. Jaswinder Gariel. Karibu sana, Mr. Gariel.
Thank you, Ms. Kimutai, the headmaster, Mr. John Eveson, head of high school, Mr. Otieno, my very dear students, ladies and gentlemen. My wife, Bindi, joins me in saying a very good evening to each one of you. At the very outset, I thank the organizers of this evening for having accorded me with this privilege. I feel humbled and honored to say a few words at this very auspicious occasion of the graduation ceremony of year 13. Hillcrest Secondary School has been very close to my heart, as this has been a family school for us. I left Hillcrest in 1986. My younger brother Devinder graduated in 1991. My two daughters, Avnish and Kiran, have schooled here, and Indrajit has graduated today. Ladies and gentlemen, education is a tool through which we can access the merits of a fit and organized society. Whilst education provides the academic basis for your careers, it also inculcates a culture in your personality, which is ingrained into your daily lives. It is this culture which is very special and distinguished at Hillcrest. I would urge my dear students to drive this culture into responsibility. Responsibility to yourselves by looking deep in your hearts and constantly trying to improve your inner self. By responsibility to the society. By feeling touched and sad of the less unfortunate beings around you, and extending some help to them whenever you can. And most importantly, responsibility to your family. Your parents have sacrificed much of their lives in sending you to this very fine institution, probably one of the most expensive schools in the country. And as they have held your hand and brought you to school, you must remember that in their time of need, later on in your lives, you should come back and hold their hands. Here, I must commend the efforts of the staff and management at Hillcrest under the very able leadership of Mr. John Eveson. I know there has been a lot of reorganization following the merger between the two schools, and Mr. Eveson has had some very challenging situations, but they've been managed extremely well. To the students, I congratulate them for having graduated in a very turbulent and uncertain time in the history of education. You are truly part of a very special generation. I wish you all success and good health as you pursue your careers at universities in different parts of the world. I will conclude with these lines of Gerald Kennedy and Matthew White, which I profess to admire and feel are appropriate at this juncture. They say, "You all strive to achieve. For achievement, you look ahead with imagination and faithfully perform every small act as part of the larger vision. Meanwhile, hard work trumps talent, and achievement comes to those who endure." With these few words, congratulations to all of you once again. Good luck, and God bless each one of you. Thank you very much.
So in Kiswahili we say asiyosikia la mkuu huvunjika guu, which means if you don't listen to the adults around you, you will
have to pay for it. Mr. Gariel has left us with some very deep and powerful words. Set me back a long way when I was sitting there and expecting to save the world, but forgetting that there were other closer things like responsibility to parents. That's a huge thing, everyone. Right, without further ado, I will now call on the Zeus tutors, and that is Miss Bwana. Miss Bwana's form comprises Callum Dixon, Stella Ising, Matthew Gavinji, Jake Glover, Tara Mikovic, who's not here today, Doris Nsanzimana, Jono Opande. Karibu sana, Miss.
Okay, we're not used to taking off our masks. Sometimes we get home and we forget that we still have the mask on until you're reminded you're panting, climbing up the stairs, and you're thinking, why am I panting? Oh, I'm supposed to have removed my mask. So I will start by saying good evening to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this year. When we went out, when we shut down the school during the pandemic, we thought this group was a very disadvantaged group. So when I was writing my speech, I thought to myself, I'm not going to write something that is going to say that we were disadvantaged. I'm going to talk about the amazing things that we managed to do during this time, because they did happen, those amazing things. And we're very proud of the entire group. So I took up this group in year 12 from Mr. Asher, because he had to leave us. And I became their form tutor. It has been a pleasure to be a form tutor and to get to know each one of you in your different ways. It's been an amazing trip. They have matured to be very young people. We always tell them, when you go on stage, please don't be nervous. Right now, I'm very nervous. Okay? Now, they have behaved impeccably. Why I say this is because, not because we've been at home most of the time, it's because we've never happened to be in Emo's office or Mr. Eveson's office to deal with any issues. They have been very good students. These young ladies and gentlemen before you today, as you see them, they're leaders, all of them, in their various ways. They've been leaders either in LEAP, Interact Club, publications, student council, peer counseling, executive members in the various departments, MUN, they've done it all, vice presidents and presidents. And believe me or not, I mean, they've been amazing in the fact that even with online learning, they were still meeting, getting in touch with one another, coordinating all the events that they needed to do as part of that. We also had house captains. I would like to thank our house captains. We're very, very grateful to you and for the work that you have done as a team during this pandemic. It's been especially very hard during the lockdown, and when we had to do the debate, we had to get students to participate online for the debate, and they worked tirelessly to get participants. And I would also like to thank the teachers in Zeus House who helped us to get the students prepared, and we won the debate. We might be a very small group, but in this group we have several scholars. They have won several awards, be it the bronze or the Duke of Edinburgh bronze in itself. They've got scholars in music. We have scholars in music, academics, sports, and many others. This year I've been very honored to have both the head boy, who is also the head of school, and the deputy head of school in my group. So I'm very privileged. So as you can see, we're all leaders. They have been supported with prefects who are also amongst us, and I would like to thank them very much for the role that they have played in the school and also the role that they play to bring us back and ensure that when we come back, that we follow all the rules. Because they took their time to come and have meetings and organize with Mr. Eveson and his group and his team on how we're going to get back and the rules that we are going to follow. Because when we got back, we were thinking, oh my God, we have to walk all the way around and crisscross and go all the way to the other side of, we used to say to the other side of the village, because that's how they used to do it in those days. This is a very committed group. When we talk about the online learning, as you've all heard, it was a challenge, a very big challenge. But we had an amazing time during our registration time. Some of them used to wake up and they would say, Miss, I'm still making breakfast. And in the background, you could hear them making breakfast. And some of them, one was in the US, one was in Croatia, and they would, with a difference of time, they still made that effort to wake up and come into registration. And I remember once somebody said, Miss, let me go and make a cup of tea for those guys who are still sleeping. By the time they wake up, they will find breakfast is ready. Again, that was nice. Another thing that I remember for registration or during registration was one of us decided to make it interesting. And they decided to have a drop back of a big aquarium, and they decided to wear goggles just to give us a new look. And we all thought we were in some aquarium somewhere in the world. Again, good times. I would like to thank the head of school and the deputy for all that you have done for all of us, putting us together as a team and working together with our house captains. We were all very excited to come back to school, especially this group of ours. We used to share registration with Miss Munanu, the other house members of Zeus, and it was a very interesting time because we had to kick their backs to get out of the classroom so that they're not late for their lessons, and then we get into trouble for allowing them to stick on. What I remember the most is that every time, somebody has mentioned it this evening, every time Man U won, they would come with this scarf, Man U, and then they would tell the other people how they've lost. If it wasn't football, it was the MFL or the NBA and even F1, the Mercedes lovers and the Red Bull. I remember once somebody told me, Miss, you cannot always support Mercedes because they are very cocky. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. From international sports, you could think that these guys owned those teams. When we come back to Hillcrest, the field is one thing that Hillcrest is also known for, not just academics. These young ladies and gentlemen have played in various sports, be it hockey, basketball, athletics, football, you name it. They've done it. We've got it all. Once again, I would like to say that I'm very privileged to have one of our members here playing rugby for Harlequins. I must mention that. As Emma would say, we do have a fish in the house, a swimmer, a very good one at that. He's represented the school in swimming. He's also represented the country both regionally and internationally. We've had some of the girls play for Sliders, which is the Kenya hockey team. They did a tour in South Africa, as it has been mentioned earlier on. So as you can see, not only do they play sports here and support the international sports, it's been a great time. We also have members who have loved dance. She's here, and the other one is not around. And has worked for the Dance Center Kenya, done several shows there. That is the Kenya National Theatre, ballet, contemporary performances. They've also had the chance to choreograph some dances and productions for the school as well. Music, as you saw, one of us was on the piano earlier on today. This group, name it, we've been there, done that. The other thing that I would also like to mention is that we always say that charity begins at home. These young ladies and gentlemen behind me have done a lot when it comes to charity work. They have raised a lot of money. They've done a lot of stuff. Places like in Amboseli, Narupa Wildlife Conservation, the Animal Orphanage. They've read books to little children. at Kibera. They've participated in the Safaricom Family Challenge, raising money for the mental health in Kenya, Project Elimu, Crime CPOA, things that we never thought that would happen to us as a country. Mental health is a very big issue today in our country, so we must take it very seriously. We thank your generosity, and I would like to encourage you to continue to give in the same spirit that you have done here to wherever you will go, and encourage others to do the same. Again, as you go for your higher education, they're going to very many different fields, as Ms. Kim Tai has said. Some of these ones will be going to do sports management, accounting and finance. We have architecture, criminal psychology, hospitality, and psychology as a course. I would also like to thank the parents very much for bearing with us and going through the challenges that we have gone through, not only the pandemic, but the changes we have gone through in terms of ownership and whatever you name it. I would like to acknowledge you and appreciate you very much. And we'd like to thank you. I'm thanking them on your behalf, because without them, we would not all be here. They've done a fantastic job with you, and we hope we've also done the best for you as you go out there. A majority of these young people started school here in year 9. So that just goes to show that our parents love Hillcrest. And as Mr. Eveson said earlier on, he started with most of them. I would also like to mention that two of us joined from GEMS earlier on in year 12. So when they joined us, we didn't know what to expect, but because we've been through thick and thin and everything you can throw at us as Hillcrest, when they joined us, they gelled with everybody else as if they belonged, and you wouldn't even tell the difference that they've come from another institution. Sometimes we say that the hardest thing to say in life is goodbye, but for us, we never say goodbyes. As Ms. Kim Tai has said, this is not the last time you'll be on this stage. We always say, see you soon. And I would like to wish you success in the future. You will make very many wrong choices in life. You will make many mistakes in life. But the most important thing is that you pick yourself up and learn from those mistakes and move on. This is what we call success. There is a saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. I hope that this is what Hillcrest has given each one of you. I would like to thank you, and I will truly miss each and every one in every special different way. And I would like to thank you for what you have given me, what you have taught me through the times. As you all know, we're the old people, so sometimes things just pass us by without realizing that we have not known what we're supposed to know when you guys speak some funny language that we don't understand. So I would like to thank you very much for keeping us updated with some of the terminologies that you guys get to know, which I will not mention, okay? I would also want to close with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Thank you so much for being my babies for this 2 years. I really appreciate you. I am very grateful, and I wish you all the best in life. And we're always here at Hillcrest. Give us a shout whenever you need help. We are always there. Thank you, and I present Zeus 13 SMB.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. That was a most touching speech. So in no particular order, Jake Glover, hospitality, but he's taking a gap year. Callum Dixon, UK, business management and marketing. Stella Ising, architecture in the Netherlands. Matthew Gvinji, UK Business Management. Tara Mikovic, Psychology in the UK. Doris Nsanzimana in the USA. I think she's still undecided, but that is fine. Jono Opande, Global Sports Management in the UK. And Eli Stevens, Business Management in the UK. But he's taking a gap year first. So we'll move on to the last tutor group, and that is 13 CMN, and that's Ms. Nanu's group. Ms. Nanu, you will please proceed to the stage with your little babies, and that is Wanjiru Fellman, Yovana Milosevic, Maliki Mwangi, Ryan Duma, Nina Redinger, Dev Shah, Anshi Sood, and Abdullahi Warsame.
Good evening to you all. So much has been said, and now that I am the last tutor to speak, I'm worried I may start sounding like a broken record. But let me start by congratulating the graduates. Indeed, it is your hard work that has made this occasion possible. Your resilience and ability to adapt to different modes of learning that we have had to go through since March 2020 is incredible and unforgettable. As Mr. Gariel said, indeed, the class of 2021 will remain in the books of history. You have made history as a class that wore masks. 3 in this group have been my tutors since year 9, and I can tell you that transition from being senior students in the prep school to junior students in high school is never easy. They were bubbly, beautiful bunch. But then I can tell you that they were quite unhappy for the first few weeks because they cried a lot. They cried all the time. They cried because they didn't think they were making friends fast enough. They cried because the work that they finished last night was too much. They cried because their friends were leaving at the end of the year. But then they quickly adapted and blossomed into the achievers they are now. Later on, we were joined by 5 others, and we have been a close-knit family with lots of achievements shared amongst us. In this group, we have had prestigious academic awards and recognition for exemplary performances nationally and internationally. All these were in examinations, Olympiads, scholarships, and other areas. We have 2 computer engineering students who have been part of incredible innovations in the field and are keen to pursue the computer engineering course as their careers. One trait that is common among the 8 students is their love for service. Service to the community, service to the environment, service to animals. One of them is keen to become a marine biologist. She has spent her holidays learning deep diving. Incredible. Another one, who is a talented graphic designer, uses her visual content to raise awareness on major issues in our society. Some would like to dedicate their careers to help young people that are struggling with psychological issues. Others spend their free time working with less privileged for charity. In this group, we have witnessed effective leadership. We have a head boy. We have a leader in peer counseling. We have students' council representatives since year 9. We have got lead choreographers in productions and sports teams leaders. In sports, from chess to ball games to athletics, many in the group have represented Hillcrest excellently, and we appreciate this. To the parents and families who have supported us and cheered us on, I know you're proud of the young ones, and we celebrate and thank you for this. On behalf of my tutors, a special thank you goes to the teachers who have been committed to the success of each and every one of these graduates and taken a personal interest in their academic and social development. My dear graduates, you have traveled this road together But on this day, the road splits into 8 different paths. The unfortunate yet the truly amazing thing about your life from here, Colin said it's all fun from here, but I'll tell you this, there may be no more core curriculum, no core history, no core mathematics. Everything is elective. Everything is optional. So choose wisely and do not follow someone else's path. Always follow your own path, unless you're in a forest. Okay? And lastly, my dear students, let the academic, social, emotional, and psychological tools that Hillcrest has blessed you with continue to be used to improve the society that surrounds you and make a difference. This has been said, and I emphasize on this. Also, remember, although we live in an era of instant gratification, Instagram, instant messaging, online shopping, there is no way to short-circuit the way to success. In fact, and I quote Steve Jobs, if you really look closely, most overnight successes took a long time. I believe in you. Be courageous. Congratulations.
People of many eyes, Ms. Mnano. Right, so in no particular order, Wanjiru Feldman is undecided, but is proceeding to the USA, College of Worcester. Jovana Milosevic, graphic design, the Netherlands. Maliki Ndwati, computer science, University of Pittsburgh. Ryan Dumar, Bristol, computing. Nina Carmen Redinger, business management with marketing, USA or the UK, but she will take a gap year first. Dev Bijesh Shah, mathematics at the Imperial College. Anshi Sood, marine biology in Australia. And Abdullahi Warsame will take a gap year. And I hope he listens to his heart, because even though he studied sciences, I think he should go into law or politics. I know because I remember the prefect's interview. We are almost coming to a close, and before we do, we'd like to call upon Stella Ising to come and perform Claire de Lune on the piano. Stella? Thank you so much, Stella. I remember a young boy, I remember him very well, Benny Kahumbura, came to the drama class. It was here, right here. And I'm like, why are you late, Benny? And Benny's like, he was actually crying, almost crying. And he's like, Miss Emo called me, I don't know if it was a buffalo or a warthog. Emo, I forget. It was buffalo. Warthog, yes. Emo called me a warthog. I'm like, why? Why on earth would Emo do that? But knowing Emo, I'm sure it was a simile or a metaphor for something or the other, you know? Probably walking late to class, I don't know. But Emo, you left me the job of calming the young man. I never took the case to Mr. Eveson, who would have been very upset. But believe it or not, the young man today is studying economics in a very prestigious university somewhere, and they're the best of friends. I think they call each other up for an occasional coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to invite Emo, the man, the legend. He joined Hillcrest in 2003 as a teacher, soon became the head of year in 2009, and since then has seen so many young people moving on to the university of their choices. Emo is not only a teacher, but also was a parent in this school. He's worn many, many different hats. Patron of ECOBAS, head of economics, Daddy Emo to so many of you. You will hear him shouting and bellowing. I think he's the buffalo, bellowing down the corridor, but it's full of love and compassion and commitment to his students. Ladies and gentlemen, Emo.
The older generation knows what the warthog is all about. It's a very forgetting animal. You'll actually hit a warthog, it will run up to there, forget, come back and do the same thing. So you can now relate to what Benny had done. Before we look at many other warthogs, maybe let me call some two special people to come up. That is Mr. Kisia and Miss Troy. And the other three parents who represented us, Lucy Mayer for all the parents who joined from prep school, Mr. Garial for all the parents who joined from year 9, and Mr. Businge for all the parents who joined us from year 12. So it's a good representation. And they're coming up, Mr. Kisia. Now, the sixth form would not run well without these two. They really helped me for a number of things, especially university education, and I'm sure they want to say something before I pick them. The other parents can also just come up. Mr. Kisia.
Good evening, the headmaster, the parents, the graduating class. It's my great pleasure to be with you as you celebrate the time when you are graduating. I think one of the things that I have always said, you are a special group, and I just want to say congratulations. You have made it. It looked difficult, but you have overcome. What it means is that you actually are on your way up. So I'd like maybe to leave you with a few thoughts just before I invite my colleague, whom we have been working with all along since I joined this department as a careers advisor. She has held my hand, especially when we're dealing with the American universities. First, I'd like to say this, that as you go into your next stage of life, I'm talking to the graduates only. The parents, you have done your bit. Thank you very much. The door of success is marked push. I've been saying that. It looks like a cliche, but I'd like to insist that it is a marked push. If you don't push, there's nothing you're going to get out there. The parents and the school and the teachers have been pushing you from this end, It is now your time to push if you're going to get anything wherever you are going to go into. And here I'm saying success, whatever you call it, whatever you think about success, just remember, it is something like a wheelbarrow. If you don't pick it up, it will not move. So every time we have been doing this for you, maybe in some cases you have done it yourself, but now when you go out there, nobody will be picking up the wheelbarrow for you. It's up to you to pick it up and push. Remember that I think from the wise words of Nelson Mandela, we have heard about Nelson Mandela this evening. He said that, if you're a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. We have tried our best to give you that push. It is time now for you to continue going with your dreams so that you can become a winner. And remember one other thing. As a school, what we have done is how we have sharpened you as arrows. You actually are arrows which are ready to go out there. And just before I talk about the arrows, I think I'd like also to say this, that Nelson Mandela said that wherever you are, in terms of your success, we will not judge you by how much success. He said, do not judge me by the successes I have. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. So you will be falling very many times, but the more you wake up, the more you come up, back up, that is how successful you will actually be measured in. So I'd like to wish you well. I'd like to say this with my story of the arrow. Arrows have no value if they are in the quiver. They must be released into wherever they are for them to have any value. So we are releasing you to go out there and achieve what your minds and your dreams are meant to achieve. Thank you very much. I'd like at this point to invite Ms. Troy. Ms. Troy, as I said before, has actually managed to give us a very good ground in the US and Canada. Most of our students now are thinking about going across the Atlantic just to further their education. And even those you have heard who have, did we hear that they have a gap year or they have gone into university but they don't know what to do? It's because the American universities give you at least some freedom in the first year to find your feet before you choose whatever you have to do. So, Ms. Troy, thank you very much. Come.
Thank you, Mr. Kissia. Good evening, everyone. And I want to, first of all, thank MO and the leadership team for making it possible for you all to be here this evening. It was not easy getting to this point, and there are seniors in high school around the world that are not able to have a graduation ceremony. So we all feel very, very fortunate that you are able to be here this evening and we can celebrate you. I want to congratulate you all on this huge accomplishment. You have not had it easy, as many have already said this evening. A-levels is hard enough as it is, but it's made infinitely harder during a global pandemic. No collective graduating class around the world has had it so tough, and we are incredibly proud of you for how you have persevered. But I do not want you to walk out of here tonight or look back on this time in your life reflecting on how hard it has been. My hope for each and every one of you is that you will recognize how much this past year has actually given you the gift of resilience. It is in many ways a blessing that you have been forced to learn how to be as brave, strong, and determined as you have been. Resilience is something that you will need your entire life, and you can rest assured that through the uncertainty and challenges of these past 15 months, you are all walking out of Hillcrest a more resilient person. I also want to echo what Mr. Eveson said in his opening remarks, which is that whatever results you get come August do not in any way define you. The fact that all of you have persevered through the trials and tribulations of this past year and put in the time and effort in order for you to sit your exams or meet your deadlines, that is what truly defines you. It is a testament to your integrity. So regardless of what that piece of paper says in August, you should all feel incredibly proud of how you got there, as we are of you. Well done, class of 2021. You are an amazing group of people, and I personally feel honored to have met all of you. Congratulations and good luck.
Now, where do I start? All protocols observed. I think my duty is more to give a vote of thanks. After all those wonderful speeches, over the years I've learned every time I write a speech for this kind of event, by the time the fourth speaker is done, my speech is gone. So I've learned, those of you who are next to me, you must have seen me scribbling my notes because I was actually trying to make a speech. So let me first thank a few people here that are very, very important. They've actually made this happen. First and foremost, the cleaners. Without them, we'll have lost school. The drivers who wake up in the wee hours of the morning to try and get you here. The groundsmen who make sure that the Hillcrest pitches are like a carpet type. The catering staff, without which those rambling stomachs, there'll be nothing getting to your brains. I hope you still remember the tuck shop. Once upon a time, it used to be alive. Thanks, COVID. And we do miss Grace. The admin and the office staff that make sure that everything is well done. My colleagues, the teaching staff, who bombard you with all the knowledge that you need. The ICT team that have been very, very helpful during these COVID times. And we even moved a notch higher. We're actually having this as a live stream event thanks to the ICT team. Maybe some people here need to stand up. Nina and the planning team, if you could just stand up, please. And this, if you're in the planning team, Mr. Houston, you're part of us, come on. The ICT. Now, this event is actually the product of the good work of all these people, while some of you are enjoying your holidays. So Nina, being our chair, thank you very much for making this happen. Thank you. Sit down. Those who have performed today, it's not easy. We try to cajole you and do everything, but I have to really give thanks to Stella, Blessing, and Tess for giving us one final bow from the stage. And of course to Ethiel and Kolo for capturing the mood of the moment. To the three speakers, parents, Ms. Maya, Jacinda, and Mr. Businge, I think you did capture the mood of everyone. To Mr. Iveson and the senior management team for making this happen. For Robert, working tirelessly to get the certificates and everything done. For John Ziok and the accounts team, it's not easy to milk money out of accountants, but thanks John, Tabitha, Mr. Kuraru, all those gifts. Somehow I tried to milk and I think I got something. Thanks Mr. Ibson for pushing for everything. To the 6.5 tutors, the half being Miss Guest who stood in for Miss Alga while she was away making babies. I think we might call Miss, we might call in Miss Guest again. Okay, thanks, and you've made my work quite easy. Without you, it's very difficult to deal with this team here. And last but not least, to the dear parents, without you, we will not be here. Let me get to COVID, and apologies for all of those people who are not be able to be here because of the COVID situation. A lot has been said about it, and I know how painful it can be for a parent to not be at a graduation place. My colleagues who know me quite closely, 4 weeks ago, after sending my only son away to Canada and waiting for about 4.5 to 5 years to do his engineering course, he graduated painfully alone in his room. So I know what you're going through when I say that it's only one parent. Those are the challenges of life, but they make us stronger. So what are the COVID lessons? Now, when you arise in the morning, just think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Just think of that. When you succeed, find time to light your family's fire so that if your own fire goes out, they can also return the favor and light your fire back. There's a risk of darkness if you are the only light in the family. As you're head of year, it just used to be Emo, then became Daddy Emo. So I can talk as an effective parent and teacher. Now, I've tried to model you, not manipulate you. I've tried to lead you, not intimidate you. I've supported you, never shamed you. I've encouraged you, never threatened you. I've guided you, never punished you, only for a few things meted out to get you on the strong, narrow path. And I listened with a few corrections here and there. So don't let yourself be controlled by those three things: people, money, and your past. In fact, if you check your marks, the ones I've given you, there's something I've left there as a memento for you to remember. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. Do not take revenge. Never, ever. Things are not going to be easy in life. Do not take revenge. Just remember, the rotten fruits will fall by themselves. Be selective with your battles. Sometimes peace is better than being right. Hillcrest has made you to be familiar with the challenges that the world is facing and the opportunities that are there. We've had significant and present challenges which have been talked about. I'm not going to go back there again. Therefore, from a seed comes a tree. From practice comes perfection. From a letter comes a sentence. From a word comes a conversation. From a pixel comes a picture. From a number comes a figure. From a thought comes an idea. Most of everything starts from somewhere or something. And we've made you start with some good habits that have built your character. Harness these good thoughts. They will boost your self-esteem. Always encompass yourself with positively like-minded individuals. And I can guarantee you, you will be surprised on how far you will go. Believe in yourself, as Hillcrest has inspired, encouraged, and empowered you to go and serve humanity in whatever capacity makes you look forward to the next day. As one Albert Einstein said, education is not learning of facts, but training of the mind. Maths may not teach you how to add happiness or how to minus sadness, but it does teach us one important thing, that every problem has a solution. and I'm glad I was part of your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Emo. I'd like to call upon Matthew Githinji to come and give Emo a token of your gratitude on behalf of all the Year 13s.
Thank you.
No shaking hands. Yes, okay. Thank you very much. So many wise words to take home. I cannot add anything else apart from what Mr. Garial told you about being compassionate and remembering your parents. So tonight when you go home, give an even tighter hug to those people, not only your parents, but a tighter hug to those people who made it possible for you to be here. Thank you all very much. And I'd like to now...
Sorry. Those of us who are heading to the UK, I hope Mr. Peter was going to say by this. The results are coming out by the 10th, and sometimes you might want to change your mind, and you need to get in touch with the career team, either myself or Mr. Kisia. Ms. Troy will not be with us. She's decided to go back home and find out what she can do that. Anyway, so on the 10th, after getting results, if you want to change the university, there is clearing. So we need to get that clearing done. Please get in touch with me so that we can. Those places are not many. So we need to do that. If there's any other challenge, please, you know I'm a phone call away or an email away. Those on gap here also, as soon as you make up your mind, please get back. We will get your university application on and done. Thank you.
Okay, I can see another young politician there who wants to say something. Okay.
Hello, for those that don't know, my name is Abdullah Warsame. I just wanted to say today has been a wonderful day, to be honest. Can I get a round of applause for that? Guys, we've graduated, guys. School's over. We're done with this. I'm sorry for putting the parents on the side. Let me just talk to my fellow students. Guys, the war is not all sunshine, you know? I just gotta say, let the past be the past. Today is the present, enjoy it, and we've graduated. Thanks for the day.
Okay, so with that, we shall bring an official close to the Year 13 Class of 2021 graduation ceremony to a close. And before we finish, before you go home, Emma would like all of you on stage for a final photo. Thank you very much, everybody, and please come to the stage.
I think back on these times and the dreams we left behind, I'll be glad 'cause I was blessed to get to have you in my life. When I look back on these days,